And descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. Pool party at the Remy Estate.
Yeah. Yeah, that pool's so big, Sean, we could put your boat in there.
I'm sure you have little plastic rafts in that pool bigger than my boat. Daubach hitting .267, 12 homers, 44 runs batted in. Hits it right at the second baseman Hairston. So both second basemen have been busy. That's 3 straight assists for Jerry Hairston Jr.
Number 10, your designated.
One out. Here's Carlos Baerga, and the fans welcome Carlos back. Seeing his first action since coming off the disabled list. Carlos has been having a fine year with the bat when he's been in there, hitting .303. 2 homers and 16 runs batted in. Of course, it's difficult to have a good year with the bat when you're not in the lineup. Carlos was riding a 5-game hitting streak when he went to the disabled list, so that carries over. Hairston throws him out. That's 4 balls in a row hit to the second baseman. Hairston.
Well, the Red Sox getting a couple of players back, obviously Baerga, and then tomorrow, as we open up this series against the Anaheim Angels, Alan Embry will be returning to the bullpen for the Red Sox.
We didn't talk about it yesterday, and we should have probably, because it was our first telecast since it happened. Rich Garces, when Baerga came back, was the man let go. Ray Sanchez, the batter, hitting an even .300. Kind of a disappointing ending on a lot of levels. First, just that Garces's performances dropped off as much as they did this year. He had been an important part of this team, and if he had been pitching at the same level this year that he had in previous years, the Red Sox bullpen situation obviously be much better than it has been and is right now. And then also that he didn't even come to the ballpark.
Well, I think he was informed earlier in the day, probably by his agent, that about the move that was going to be made, and elected not to come to the ballpark that day to get the news in person. And I feel bad for Rich. You know, we've enjoyed him over the last couple of years, but performance certainly was down this season. At many times when got the call in the bullpen, was unable to go. And they felt like they needed somebody out there that could give them a little bit more right now than Garces. And as we talked about, Sean, at his best, it was like 1 inning for Rich, and then he needed a day off.
Sanchez nubs one foul. I think they would have been willing. Mike Ford indicated that they would have liked Garces to accept an assignment down to Pawtucket, try to work through whatever the problems are that he's been having that have led to the 7.59 ERA.
It's an amazing difference here. 199 against lefties, and then way over 300 this season.
Chopped up the middle. Mora this time from behind the second base bag. A soft one-hop throw fielded by Gibbons nicely to end the inning. So that's 6 in a row retired by Erickson after the first 3 men of the ball game had hits for Boston. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Fox Sunday, hot summer, cool shows. Don't be left in the dark. Catch The Simpsons.
Oh, thank God I'm out of matches. Oh no, here's another one.
And King of the Hill is moving to a new time.
I don't like change. Of course, staying the same hasn't been very good to me either.
Then, can the boys pull off the greatest escape ever?
Sleep well, my little angels.
Malcolm, a full hour at its new time.
Begins tonight at 7 on Fox 25.
What you got there?
Turkey Club.
Looks good.
It is.
Can I have a bite?
Sure.
Thanks.
Introducing Big Eats Deli Sandwiches from 7-Eleven.
Good.
Piled high with ingredients from Sara Lee, Earth Grains, and Kraft, and delivered fresh daily, so they're new every day.
authorized clearance. Now get 0% financing for up to 60 months. That's 0% on the vehicles that'll rock your world. Like Ford Explorer, the #1 selling SUV on the planet. F-150, the #1 selling truck for 25 straight years. Focus, one of Car and Driver's 10 best. And Taurus, with the government's highest safety rating. 0% Ford authorized clearance now.
Time to go around the bases, brought to you by Budweiser. Ozzie Smith will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame today. The Wizard, elected in his first year of eligibility. Won 13 straight Gold Gloves, played in 15 All-Star games. Certainly one of the great defensive shortstops of all time. Some say the best. He's the only player going in. Brooke Fordyce, strike one. 218 for Fordyce, backing up Geronimo Hill this year. A homer and 5 runs batted in. We also want to congratulate our colleagues in the media. Harry Callis, the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies since 1971. He's the winner of the Ford Frick Award, presented annually for major contributions to baseball broadcasting. And Joe Falls, longtime sports writer in Detroit, more than 50 years. He'll go into the Hall of Fame for contributions to baseball writing. And they're both very deserving as well. Harry Callis, one of our favorite people as we travel around baseball.
Remember a couple of years ago, we were doing a game in Philadelphia, and all of a sudden I hear the screaming from the booth next to it. It was Harry yelling at the umpire.
Good to see he's still into it after all these years. Very deep voice, Harry Callis. Sports fans who aren't familiar with the Phillies have heard Harry does the voiceover for NFL films now. You hear him on those HBO shows, anywhere else you might see NFL films highlights. 2-2 on Fordyce. I would also say Harry speaks more slowly than anybody in our business.
That's going to be a hit.
Good for them. That's just about the ultimate honor. Matter of fact, that's exactly what Harry Callis said. It is the ultimate honor in our profession. Brooke Fordyce, a base hit into left. That's the third hit given up by Derek Lowe. As we mentioned, 13 Gold Gloves for Ozzie. That's the most ever won by a shortstop. The MVP of the National League Championship Series in 1985. More than 2,400 hits. He had 580 stolen bases in 19 major league seasons.
It's a lot of hits for a shortstop. Switch hitting shortstop, Ozzie Smith.
Here's Jerry Hairston, a tying run at the plate. Red Sox leading 2-0 in the top of the third. And a ball just outside. Hairston at 250. 2 homers and 15 runs batted in.
I wonder if Ozzie will do one of those famous backflips as he goes to the podium today.
It has major embarrassment and injury potential, I would think. And maybe at his advancing age now, it's a little more difficult to do than when he played. Veritek's going to go out and chat with Derek Lowe. And on the subject of announcers in the Hall of Fame, we said it, I guess it was yesterday. But I know, in my opinion, I think in yours too, our late friend and colleague Ned Martin should be a recipient of that honor posthumously, unfortunately now. But he belongs in that baseball broadcasters wing of the Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't know of anybody who's done it longer and done it better than Ned did in both markets, radio and in television. Because radio was his love.
Lowe's had some control trouble today, even though he hasn't walked anybody. He's thrown a lot of balls. And he's gone to 3-0 on Hairston. Melvin Mora on deck. Fordyce a very short lead. Derek throws one down the middle, 4-1.
And we'll see here if they send Fordyce on the 3-1 count, maybe open up a hole. That's very unlike Derek Lowe.
More balls than strikes. 18 of his 34 pitches have been out of the strike zone. And that wasn't close. And you're seeing it in the body language of Derek. It's a little bit reminiscent of last year when he would struggle. Tony Cloninger wants to go out and deliver a pep talk now. First 2 men are on for Baltimore. Jason Veritek also out there. Apparently Jason, before the game yesterday, along with Doug Mirabelli, got all the pitchers together. He delivered a little pep talk to his battery mates. A message along the lines of, you can't think down the road or keep thinking about the big picture. We just have to focus on each and every pitch. And I think that's an excellent example of the kind of team leader in a quiet way that Jason Veritek is.
Now, when he talks, they listen. He does a great job preparing for a game. You know, he'll spend a lot of the time prior to the ball game not only batting practice and doing the things he has to do, but studying the opposing team. So he's got a game plan every time he goes back behind that plate for each one of his pitches.
Melvin Mora takes the 5th straight ball. He grounded a second in the first inning. And Grady Little was raving about Jason Veritek before the game today, and along the lines of what you just said. He said Jason always puts the defense, the catching, ahead of his hitting. Mora pushes the bunt foul, and that he believes Veritek does as good a job as anybody that Grady's ever been around at having a game plan for how they want to approach the hitters. Grady said it doesn't always work, but it's not because Jason doesn't have the right ideas. Sometimes they just can't execute the pitch. Grady said Jason is a special player and a special person.
And in all fairness to ex-Red Sox manager Joe Kerrigan, I think Joe had a lot to do with helping Veritek in that preparation. Of course, Joe was certainly that way. He had shots for everybody, and I think that having Veritek being around him for a while, I think introduced him to that type of preparation for a game.
Here's the 1-2 to Mora, blown away. Two balls and 2 strikes. Howie Clark to follow. Fordyce at second. Hairston at first. Down to third. Hillenbrand steps on the bag for 1, throws to first, a double play.
Anytime you see a ball hit in that direction that close to third base, you think about a triple play possibility, but there was no chance this time for Hillenbrand. He'll take that 1-hop step on third, not even look at second. He did not have a play at second and gets the sure double play. I remember the game we did here against Minnesota where we had 2 triple plays in one game by the Minnesota Twins. That type of ground ball right near the third base bag.
In this instance, it was Hairston, the runner, going from first to second. He runs well, and as Jerry said, no chance for Hillenbrand at second base. When you're a sinker ball pitcher like Lowe and scuffling a little bit, it's amazing how much brighter the inning can get when you can get that double play grounder. Clark grounded out in the first. Batting now with 2 outs and Hairston at second. We're in the 3rd inning. The Red Sox 2 and the Orioles nothing. Chopped up the middle. It's that man Sanchez again to end the inning. The Orioles put the first 2 men on, but they cannot score, and we go to the home half of the 3rd. Still 2-0 Boston.
Next time you think about going to Florida, think Southwest Airlines. Right now, it's only $49 from Providence or Manchester to anywhere we fly in Florida when you purchase by August 1st.
You are now free to move about the country.
Are you ready for the more useful internet? There's never been a better time to switch from AOL dial-up and get MSN broadband. The smarter, faster internet service, optimized by Microsoft IntelliSpeed technology. Just another great reason to switch from AOL to MSN. Call now and get broadband service with free activation, free modem use, and no term commitment. MSN, more useful every day.
What makes the rugged Nissan Xterra the authentic SUV? More power, more versatility, more protection from the elements. Want an authentic SUV? The Xterra is the real deal. And with low 3.9% APR for 60 months plus $500 cash back, now's the time to get a great deal on a Nissan Xterra. Offers end July 31st. Nissan. Driven.
Tonight on Fox 25, Homer has to care for an elderly woman, but will he be left in the dark? It's The Simpsons. Then get ready for some more fun with King of the Hill as it moves to a new time at 8:30, right after The Simpsons. Then can the boys pull off the greatest escape ever? Find out in a full hour of Malcolm in the Middle. The fun starts tonight at 7, right here on Fox 25. Top of the order, bottom of the third. Scott Erickson, ball one outside to Johnny Damon. Johnny had an infield hit and scored the Red Sox first run. Nixon on deck, then Garcia-Parra lined over the Baltimore dugout. Johnny had the infield hit. Nixon followed with a double down the right field line. Damon scored from first. And then Garcia-Parra singled to right to bring in Nixon. They have not had a runner since against Erickson. He's retired the last 6. Down and in, 2-1. Yankees and Tampa Bay are underway down at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, scoreless in the second inning. Andy Pettit on the mound for New York. Tanyan Sturtz, the Worcester native, with a record of 1-10 for Tampa Bay. Ball 4. Well, yesterday the Yankees had an early lead, but Jeff Weaver squandered it. Another rough outing for Weaver as a member of the Yankees in the 7-4 loss to Tampa Bay. He gave up 6 runs in 7 innings, 9 hits. I think Joe Torre is just trying to keep him mentally together. Joe said he thought he actually pitched better.
Well, I guess it was better than the Red Sox thing, but he has had some brutal outings for the Yankees since joining that team.
He's given up 24 earned runs in 27 innings and 9 home runs. A homer every 3 innings. After he hardly allowed a homer all year in Detroit. Trot Nixon has already taken care of extending his hitting streak to 13. He doubled down the right field line to knock in the first run of the game. And he scored the second. 2-0 Boston. A walk of Damon, the first walk given up by Erickson. Hit hard, but right at Mora. He flips to Hairston. That's about as easy as it gets. 6-4-3. 2 outs. The base is empty in the bottom of the third.
A lot of double plays already in this ball game. The Red Sox had won in the third inning. Of course, the strange 9-6-2 double play to end the first inning. And now the first double play for Erickson. Oh, thank you. The big dig. Got the helmet on and everything.
Nomar down the third base line under the glove of Batista and into the left field corner. Garcia-Parra has his second hit. A 2-out double. He singled to knock in a run in the first.
36 doubles now for Nomar. Puts him second in the league. 1 behind Garrett Anderson. We'll see Garrett Anderson over the next 3 games in Anaheim. Right down the third base line. The back end of the attempt there by Batista, but quickly by him all the way down to the 310. And Garcia-Parra has the 2-out double to get into scoring position.
Manny Ramirez. Look out. That hit him. Manny might be getting a little tired of this.
Yeah. Seems like every time first base is open, it's a free shot on Ramirez recently. Manny has always hit well against Erickson. 367 coming into the game with 3 career home runs.
Number 33.
Looks like they wanted the ball up and in and too far inside, right off the shoulder. Erickson acting like he didn't want to do it, and I'm not so sure he did. I think he wanted to come inside tight on Ramirez, try to jam him. You can see also Fordyce drop his head after Ramirez was hit. Pitcher catcher don't usually do that when they're trying to drill somebody.
The 8th batter hit by Erickson this season. It's the 6th time that Manny's been hit by a pitch. Close, but a ball to Veritek. He grounded out in the first. So he'll try again to extend the longest streak of his career to 14 games. Garcia Parra at second. Ramirez at first and 2 outs. Sun was trying to peek out for a while, but it's much cloudier now. Well hit center field. That ball's way back and off the top of the wall. Garcia Parra scores. Ramirez to third. A double by Veritek and a 3-0 Red Sox lead. A 14-game hitting streak for Jason Veritek. He just missed a 3-run homer.
Oh, and I just absolutely love what Veritek and Nixon have done on this homestand. They have taken full advantage of the opposite field. Both guys have the power to use the wall in left field, and that ball just missed being a home run. Veritek was trying to maybe talk it over the left field wall for the home run. So with 2 outs, the double, the hit batter, and Veritek with a double, the drive and a run.
Hillenbrand pops one foul off to the right. Shea grounded to second to win the first inning. A little surprised there wasn't at least the possibility of Manny trying to score on that play. He was running from first. That ball was hit a long way. With 2 outs, he would be off at the crack of the bat. He was just kind of pulling up, trotting into third. And as the ball was coming back into the infield.
I told you a long time ago, Sean, I believe Veritek runs better than Manny.
And I think you could use that as evidence. Have you arranged the race yet?
No, not yet. Maybe not in the plane. We got a long time, 6 hours. Maybe they'll race up and down the aisle for us.
The 1-1 to Hillenbrand. Swing and a miss. A hit here could really change the complexion of the game. Turn a 3-0 lead into a 5-0. Red Sox with 3 runs on 5 hits. The Orioles no runs, 3 hits. Neither team has made an error. Ball 2, Lowe. Good block by Fordyce on the ball in the dirt. Brian Daubach on deck, hoping for a chance to hit here in the third.
Erickson's name keeps popping up among teams in contention who may be interested in another pitcher.
He signed through next year. Now an 11-year veteran. 34 years old. Came back from Tommy John surgery, missed all of last year with ligament replacement surgery. Up the middle, Mora, nice play, throws on the move, past Gibbons. 2-run score and the Red Sox lead 5-0. Well, Gibbons trying to maintain contact with that first base bag. Lunge for the throw. He probably could have saved one run had he just come off the bag and fielded that throw.
That's exactly right, Sean. Not a good play at all by the first baseman. You've got no chance to get the man at first. You've got to come off the bag and stop that ball from going past him because it means another run. And you can see how upset Moore is. He made a heck of a play just to get to that ball and get the throw to first base. But Gibbons has got to come off the bag, catch the ball, make sure another run doesn't score. And unfortunately for Moore, he's going to get an error on that. It's going to be a base hit and an error. And it really shouldn't be.
And it's a single for Hillenbrand and 1 RBI. The error allows the other run to score. First error of the game for either team. And a 5-0 lead now. Dahlbach, 7th batter of the inning. Fouls one away. All of this has happened with 2 outs. You recall Damon started the inning with a walk, but Nixon grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Then Garcia-Parra doubled. Ramirez hit by a pitch. Veritek doubled. And Hillenbrand with the infield hit. All of a sudden 3 runs are in this inning. When Derek Lowe heads back to the mound, he'll be working with at least a 5-run lead. Ball 2. Erickson early in his career threw a no-hitter for the Minnesota Twins on April 27th of 1994 against the Milwaukee Brewers at the Metrodome. Dahlbach hits that a long way to center field, and that ball is off the wall. Home run, says the third base umpire Laz Diaz. Apparently it hit just to the right of that yellow line.
Ooh, I'm not so sure, Sean.
Mike Hargrove isn't sure either. He's asking some people in the dugout. Sam Perlazzo, the bench coach, talking to Hargrove. Apparently Sam has some questions about it too. The middle infielders Moore and Hairston are arguing. And now the center fielder Singleton is running in. He's going to argue with the second base umpire Angel Hernandez. It was the third base umpire, however, Laz Diaz, who made the call.
First look from here, it looked like it hit to the left of that yellow line. And of course, if it does, it is not a home run. Obviously, to the right of that line is a home run. Now, I don't know if that netting is still up there, but they used to have netting that would kind of catch the baseball.
Well, there are a lot of Orioles on the field who are convinced that that ball did hit to the left.
And the guy with the best look at it would be Chris Singleton, who was out there closest to it.
Well, we need to get one box on the screen here so we can get a better look at that ball, whether or not it was a home run. Now the umpires are going to confer. This is not a good thing for the Red Sox. They've already gotten the call they wanted. Now these umpires all have various responsibilities during the play. First base umpire, for example, should be watching to see if Dahlbach steps on first. And apparently they're not going to overrule the call after conferring.
Sean, I can't tell from here if that netting is still up between that yellow line, but if it is, it would have caught the baseball. One more look as we back it up. Oh no, that's let's see. Wow. That ball looks like it is right on the line.
In which case it's a home run.
And if it is on the line, you're right, it's a home run.
Now it was going to be a tough call either way for Laz Diaz. He was probably going to get an argument from either side. It is a home run for Dahlbach and a 7-0 Red Sox lead. The homer for Dahlbach is 13th of the year. He's now driven in 46. So 5 straight men have reached and 5 in a row have scored with 2 outs. Here's Baerga taking a ball low. He's the 8th batter of the inning. Ball 2. Baerga grounded to second his first time up. Chop foul. '15th homer given up by Erickson. Bounced that one up there. Fordyce wants an appeal. It was not a swing. 3-1. Chopped up the middle. Morrow was shading the middle and throws him out. A 26 pitch inning for Erickson and a 5-run inning for the Red Sox offense. Capped by the homer. Controversial home run by Daubach. After 3, 7-0 Red Sox. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
You know the best place in town to go see a baseball game.
And the best place in town to go for a boat ride.
And now you know the best place in town to go and buy furniture.
Go to the one store that just won the prestigious Retailer of the Year award from the National Home Furnishings Association.
Bernie and Phil's Furniture.
Voted best by our peers in the furniture industry.
Bernie and Phil. Quality, comfort, and price. That's nice.
Yo, I keep coming with my treasure.
That's material, I want true pleasure.
Fine, then I'll bounce and I won't come back.
Hold on, baby, what's in that sack?
Ah, behold Mickey D's new grilled chicken flatbread sandwich. Tender, juicy chicken, grilled with onions. On one flatbread, top with pepper jack cheese. Enough to bring a diva to her knees.
You're looking better and that sandwich sounds divine. I hope you bought 2, 'cause this one's mine.
Try the new grilled chicken flatbread sandwich on the new taste menu only at McDonald's.
Ford authorized clearance. Now get 0% financing for up to 60 months. That's 0% on the vehicles that'll rock your world. Like Ford Explorer, the #1 selling SUV on the planet. F-150, the #1 selling truck for 25 straight years. Focus, one of Car and Driver's 10 best. And Taurus with the government's highest safety rating. 0% Ford authorized clearance now.
Well, we'll take one more look at the Brian Daubach home run. Questionable call out there in left center field. And if we stop it, run it back, and let's see. Wow, that's close. It looks like it hit right on the yellow line. And there's the netting I was talking about that is set up out there. So if it's to the right of that yellow line, it should be caught in that net.
Matthews hit by a pitch. And now he barks at Derek Lowe.
Yeah.
Red Sox are tired of Manny Ramirez in particular getting hit. So Lowe with the first pitch of the inning. Drills Matthews. He doesn't like it. The umpire's in the way quickly.
Just take it and go to first base. Ramirez got drilled up around the shoulder. He got drilled around the butt. 1 for 1, go to first base.
A couple of the Red Sox and a couple of the Orioles out of the dugout starting onto the field before order was restored. Well, in the bottom of the last half inning.
There's one up around the elbow, right around the shoulder. And now the retaliation. This one is much lower, right around the back, right on the butt. That's 1 for your side. You got Manny, I got you. I got you lower than they got Manny. Go to first base.
And as you saw, warnings issued. So if this flares up again, we could see ejections. We see more of that than usual this year. Is it me?
You know, I think we're seeing quicker warnings than we've seen in the past. As soon as it's evened up, they give the warning right away to both sides.
Matthews runs. Batista chops one foul.
That's perfect.
Down 7 runs.
Good. Still chirping it to Derek Lowe, too, as he heads his way back to first base. Here he's going. Watch out.
He's creeping toward the mound. Now Daubach's going to grab him. Here come the dugouts. And the first base coach, Rick Dempsey, puts Matthews in a hug. Doug Mirabelli out there being pushed away by the umpires, trying to get at Matthews. Bullpen's emptying.
You talk about overreaction from Matthews. That's unbelievable. He got hit on the butt.
You'd think he'd have a little bit more of an understanding, too. His dad was a fine major league player. He grew up around the game.
See, what happened is when he came back to it from second base, he kept chirping away at Lowe, and that's when Daubach went out to get him. Looked like he was going to make a move toward Derek Lowe.
He and Daubach exchanged words as Matthews was arriving at first base. Daubach pretty
now
much.
Veritek right now.
We've got a major skirmish. Jason Veritek in the middle of it. I believe that was David Segui.
Somebody made a mistake and said something to Veritek, and that's all he needed. It looked like Marty Cordova, but I couldn't tell.
Well, there's some serious punches being thrown out behind second base now.
Ray Sanchez and Offerman.
And one of the umpires doing the best to get into the middle of that one and take Ugueth Urbina away.
Who's this guy without a uniform?
There's Urbina being walked all the way out into center field by Angel Hernandez. Tom Trebelhorn trying to calm down whoever that is for the Orioles. Offerman there. Well, of course, the Orioles aren't anywhere near playoff contention and not going to be a playoff contending team. You have to hope that the Red Sox don't wind up getting somebody injured.
This isn't over yet either. That's Brooke Fordyce right there.
Fordyce is bloodied.
Somebody said something to Veritek, and Veritek just charged him.
That was over by the mound, while the original action was over by the first base bag. Fordyce checking for more blood. Meanwhile, equipment strewn all over the field, gloves and hats and bats. Well, you're right, Jerry. In one of these things, the last guy in the world you want to go after is Veritek.
We're going to have a bunch of guys thrown out of this thing here. This is going to be a mess.
And there's Matthews, who was at the center of all of it. He should be gone. He started toward the mound from first base.
Yeah, keep your eye on him because that might not be done yet.
He started the whole thing by taking several steps toward the mound toward Derek Lowe. That resulted in Daubach trying to get in his way, and then Rick Dempsey grabbing Matthews and trying to pull him away. And by that time, the players and coaches on each side were streaming out of the dugouts.
Tony Clark trying to talk some sense into Matthews here and trying to calm him down.
There he goes toward the mound. Daubach trying to stop him. Rick Dempsey trying to stop him as well.
Yeah, Rick knows.
Then there's Mirabelli. Now this is where we think the Veritek action began.
He's charging somebody. I can't tell who he's trying to get after, but he was in a hurry to get somebody.
And once the attention turned to Veritek, Matthews got loose.
That's Rodrigo Lopez right there that a couple of people have a headlock on. And then it started out towards second base, and it was Sanchez and Offerman heading out towards second base, throwing shots at somebody.
While you're looking to replays live on the field, Mike Hargrove just shook hands with Brian Daubach.
Here's where we go. There's Baega heading out towards somebody here that doesn't have a uniform top on. And he's backing up chirping, and they're trying to get at him. Sanchez and Offerman finally did get out there, and they were throwing some shots. That may be it, Sean. It might have been Jorge Julio. He's a closer, so he may not be in the bullpen yet and not completely in uniform. He might have come right out of the clubhouse.
You know, the umpires chatting things, or chatting about the situation amongst themselves. Grady Little still on the field. Matthews is back at first, so if he's getting tossed, it hasn't happened yet. Randy Marsh, the home plate umpire, is the crew chief.
Well, you would think he has to go.
Yeah, if anybody's going, he should be the first one to go.
I think there's going to be a bunch of them that are going to have to go in this once they sort this thing out.
And now Randy Marsh is going to summon Mike Hargrove. And I thought originally that Rodrigo Lopez, seeing the spiky hair with the different colors, might be Segui. It looked from the top like it's, but Segui's not active.
No, that was, I believe that was Rodrigo Lopez. Yeah,
involved in the center of that circle with Veritek and the rest.
Now you can't eject either one of the pitches because obviously there was a warning given, but no pitch was made. But you would have to think that Matthews has to go for initiating that as moving toward the mound.
And he did it twice. I mean, he started toward the mound to sort of get things percolating after he was hit by the pitch, and then he did it again. And as you say, running on the pitch as well, down 7-0, makes you wonder if his head is in the clouds.
Yeah, here he is coming back to first after trying to make that steal, looking out and saying something to Derek Lowe. Lowe, I think, said something to him, and now he wants to go. So Dempsey knows he's got to stop this. He's not going to let him charge Derek Lowe. Dempsey knows he got hit on the backside. And then I'll tell you, things really spread out after that. Now here comes Veritek. He got hot at somebody. I couldn't tell who he was trying to get after. He's by Cordova, and he's got somebody. It might be that Lopez in the middle. He's got him right now in a headlock, but I don't think that's the guy he was after.
The guys in the truck tell us that they believe the player without the uniform on was Willis Roberts because his jersey was ripped off.
That's who it is, Sean. That's exactly right, because we can see him in this pile right here. You can see Roberts on his back right there, and that gets torn off. Now they just continue. Oh, he took a shot right there at Baega, and Baega starts chasing him out, and that's when the punches start to go. Offerman going out, Baega going out, Sanchez going out.
Yeah, you gotta like guys who are encouraging them to come after while they're backing pedaling at about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, he took a shot at Baega, and that's what initiated. Oh, and he pushed the umpire. He pushed Diaz, so that's going to be a suspension right there. But that's what happened, Sean. He took a shot at Baega, and when Baega's teammates saw that, they just chased him out in the center field.
I mean, what a big tough guy he is.
He's got to go
the whole time to come get me while backing up, and then the only person he wants to push is the umpire.
Heads up, Derek, now.
Yeah, Matthews has been ejected. He's walking across the field and heading for the dugout. We know his dad, who in recent years has been a broadcaster with the Toronto Blue Jays, and I think Papa might want to get on the phone with his son tonight and explain to him a little bit more about how things work in this game.
Exactly. Now, from what we saw of Roberts, not only is he got to go in this game, but he should be suspended for pushing Laz Diaz in the middle of that thing. He just pushed him right away.
Now they have to be a pinch runner for Matthews. Now Tony Cloninger is coming quickly out of the dugout toward Randy Marsh. And he's upset about something.
Now Cloninger at home plate in that area had two guys on a bear hug. Now I don't know if Tony got ejected from the game, and this is what the argument is about, but he had two guys in a bear hug right around home plate.
Out of everything that happened, if he goes, These umps got to be kidding.
Well, that's a pretty good exchange, though, for the Red Sox.
Yeah, they'll take the pitching coach for a starting player, but
I don't know if that's what he's arguing about, but I'd have to guess so. I know that at home plate there were about 2 or 3 people wrapped up, and I know Cloninger was one of them.
Well, it's possible he has been ejected. We'll keep the camera on him, see if he disappears down the runway. This is one instance where you wish, like in other sports, they had a scorer's table where the umps could go over and tell the PA announcer, okay, this is exactly what's happened.
Yeah, let me look at the replay here. Louis Lopez coming out to pinch run at first base for Matthews, who has been ejected. To my knowledge, I don't know of any Red Sox player ejected, the exception of maybe Cloninger. I don't know. Let's see if Tony's getting ready to pack up his equipment and head back in the runway. Yeah, I think he's gone, Sean.
Brooke Fordyce has also been ejected from the game. So Cloninger departs. Fordyce, we are told, and Matthews have been tossed for Baltimore. Fordyce still checking to see if he's bleeding from the nose.
I didn't see what Fordyce did in that altercation to draw the ejection.
He took a shot in the nose, we know that much. Matthews and Fordyce and Cloninger tossed. And Tom Trebelhorn goes after that foul ball, and as it go right through the wickets. And Fordyce is putting his equipment back on.
I can't imagine that he would have been tossed out. I did not.
That was the announcement they just made on the press box intercom here. Bautista pops it up, shallow right. Nixon the catch. That's the first out.
Number 25, the first baseman, J. Gibbons.
Well, welcome to Family Day here at Fenway.
That delay about 10 minutes. Here's Jay Gibbons. Fly to right in the second inning. Chops one slowly to second. Sanchez makes the play at first. 2 outs. The pinch runner Lopez to second base. So how did Roberts escape? I mean, there were 2 umpires.
Look at this. He's got a baseball in his hand like he wants to throw it at somebody.
Well, he doesn't want to fight anybody because he backed up the whole time after hitting Baerga. But right in plain view of 2 of the umpires.
And look at watch him push the umpire
back from him.
All right, and watch him push the umpire after that. I don't know if it's before or after, but he got the baseball out of his hand. That's not a good thing.
No. Well, how could the 2 umps who were both there when he pushed one of them not toss him out of the ball game?
Yeah.
Marty Cordova looked at a ball. Cordova grounded to second his first time up. Another one up and in. Of course, after a warning is issued, you don't have to hit a batter necessarily to get ejected as a pitcher. You throw one up and in somewhere in the direction of the batter. The umpire thinks it's intentional. You can get a run without hitting somebody. Even though apparently, and we say apparently because sometimes it's not always that clear the way it's communicated from the field up to the press box, that Roberts was not ejected, I would think when Bob Watson looks at the tape we just saw, he could be facing disciplinary action. Cordova walks. It's the second walk given up by Lowe. And the Orioles have 2 men on with 2 outs. Red Sox leading 7-0.
The center fielder, Chris Singleton.
Meanwhile, the cloud's getting a little darker at Fenway Park. Here's Chris Singleton. He grounded out to the first baseman Daubach unassisted to end the second. 7 runs, 7 hits for Boston. No runs, 3 hits, and an error for Baltimore. One and one on Singleton.
Brooke Fordyce has come out on deck, so apparently he was not ejected, or he's not aware of it, but I don't know why he would be.
There might have been a miscommunication from the field to the press box. And it was announced over the press box intercom that Matthews, Fordyce, and Cloninger had all been ejected.
Now this will be very testy the rest of the afternoon, even though there are warnings. When you get in situations like that in the field, you don't know what kind of hard feelings have come between certain players. So it's still something we're going to have to watch the rest of the way.
Check swing. Strike 3, says Laz Diaz. That ends the inning. The Orioles leave 2. And they leave their right fielder in the clubhouse. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Wow. That is so cool.
Can he do it again?
Sure. You'll get one, boy.
Okay, so where does he get him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Get down!
But we know there are times when you want to escape the everyday.
Hi, I'm too busy relaxing right now. Leave a message.
And we can help you do that, too. AT&T Broadband. Cable television, high-speed cable internet, digital phone service. The power of 3.
Melvin Mora.
7-0. The Red Sox lead the Orioles. The game interrupted for about 10 minutes by a brawl in the top of the 4th inning. One of the Orioles foolish enough to go after Jason Veritek. Brooke Fordyce apparently has not been ejected despite the announcement to that effect because he is back behind the plate.
Now pitching.
I imagine in this situation, Jerry, a lot of the players start questioning each other. Well, what happened over where you are? What did he say? What did he do?
Absolutely. It'll be great on the bus, too, going to the airport and on the plane because the stories grow and grow. Somebody apparently took a shot at Veritek, and that's what Veritek got upset about, and that's when he went charging into that pile. Melvin Moore at a right field, Louis Lopez the shortstop.
And Chris Brock, the new pitcher, after 3 innings from Scott Erickson. There's Lopez now at short. And Sanchez sends one to deep left. Cordova in the middle of the warning track made the catch. 1 out. Sanchez now 0 for 2.
We'll take a little bit more of the Veritek situation here. There he is in a pile. Now somebody at that point apparently had taken a shot at him, and that's when he took off after him. I can't tell who that is that he's going after. Looks
That's
like
Rodrigo Lopez right on his right.
Yeah, but I don't think he had much intention of him, and that might have been Melvin Mora. Melvin Mora was to his right there. He had Lopez in a headlock, but I don't think it was Lopez.
You can see in that replay, Tony Cloninger did have somebody in a headlock. Damon a swing and a miss. Only Matthews and Cloninger ejected. And Erickson pulled by Mike Hargrove after 3 ineffective innings. He gave up 7 runs on 7 hits. All the runs were earned runs. 1 walk, 1 hit batter, no strikeouts for Erickson in his 3 innings. Damon has had an infield hit and a walk. He has scored a run. Pulled foul and right. The 1-2 to Damon is high.
Chris Brock only making his 13th appearance in the season. Spent a lot of time on the disabled list early in the year with an inflamed right shoulder.
He's a 31-year-old journeyman, native Floridian, born in Orlando, lives in Altamont Springs, Florida. Graduate of Florida State in 1992 with a degree in accounting. Then has bounced around Atlanta, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and now the Orioles. The only 2 full seasons at the major league level were in '99 with San Francisco and in 2000 with Philadelphia. Little pop fly in shallow left for Cordova. 2 outs. During the break between innings, Dave Meller, the grounds crew head, was out talking to the umpires. Here's a look back at the Veritek action. There's Jason now in the middle of your screen, trying to get away from Cordova. And I think you're right. I think he was charging. That is Melvin Mora.
Yeah, Melvin Mora right here. That's the guy that he's after right there. So that should make for an interesting exchange when Mora comes to the plate next inning.
Nixon the batter, 1 strike to count. Nixon doubled to drive in a run and scored in the first, rounded into a 6-4-3 double play. We were mentioning Dave Meller, the ground crew chief, came out and spoke to Randy Marsh, and Dave had the walkie-talkie with him, and the clouds are getting darker and thicker. There is the possibility of thunderstorms here today. Here's that conversation during the break between innings. Brock missed up and away, 1-2. Well, everybody's fired up. Mother Nature might as well get fired up today too.
On a nice peaceful Sunday afternoon at the ballpark.
It's already going to be a long enough day for both of these teams. Red Sox travel all the way out to Anaheim. The Orioles have about a 3-hour flight ahead of them down to Tampa. They don't need a rain delay here today. The 1-2 pitch from Brock. Swung on and missed. A 1-2-3 inning for Brock. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
We have more now on a breaking story we are following tonight.
Important story.
3 more women have been attacked in Brighton.
It was a wild ride on Wall Street. Big event.
An 11-day trip for Pope John Paul II.
An emotional tribute for Ted Williams. Serious weather.
Power was knocked out to almost every home in town. Trees and power lines down all over the place.
Powerful investigation.
Why you reported your car stolen when it wasn't? Did the Archdiocese move you from parish to parish?
Every night, news you need to know. Every night, Fox 25 News at 10.
I like my steaks rare, my lawn short, and I like whole milk. Yeah, whole milk is real milk for real men.
The real man is in for a real surprise. He's about to try Simply Smart Milk. It's a low-fat milk without the watery taste. In fact, Simply Smart fat-free tastes like 2% milk. And Simply Smart 1% tastes like whole milk.
Tastes like whole milk. Men, we found our milk.
And it's Simply Smart Milk.
I feel good.
You can feel good about Hood.
I gotta get one of those.
I gotta get one of those.
The 2002 Lincoln LS V8 Sport. Get over $8,600 in finance savings with 0% financing for 60 months. There are those who travel and those who travel well.
Number 26.
Back at Fenway, 7-0 as we move to the top of the 5th inning. And if we look up here in the top right-hand corner, you see Veritek, and you'll see a punch come in that's going to nail him. Right there. Right there. And that was Melvin Mora, and that's what really ticked off Jason Veritek. Mora hits 3rd this inning.
No pun intended. Here's Fordyce, who was bloodied in the battle. He singled to left in the 3rd. Facing Derek Lowe. Little nubber Lowe bare hands. Nice play. 1 out. Now I'd just like to commend our producer Russ Ken, director John Wilson, our terrific crew. When these brawls break out, there's stuff happening all over the field.
Number 15,
I think they've managed to find
Hairston Jr.
just about all of the key moments of that battle.
Well, that was a big one. That spread all the way out to center field.
Well, there's more on deck. He'll bat after Hairston, who drew a walk in the third. Lowe has given up 3 hits. He has walked 2 and hit a batter. He ducks out of the way of a line drive into center field. 4 hits for Baltimore. Hairston's on for the second time.
Number 6.
No interaction between Veritek and Mora. Mora has grounded to second and chopped to third into a big 5-3 double play. Ball 1. Meanwhile, down in St. Pete, the Yankees have taken a 4-0 lead against Tampa Bay behind Andy Pettit. They're in the 4th inning. Pulled foul into the seats and left. And break up the Tigers. The Detroit Tigers have won 5 in a row, and they lead at Cleveland today 5-0 in the 5th inning. And Mark Redmond, whose name has been mentioned in a lot of trade rumors. Two and 1. Hairston takes off. That's a line drive that hits Lowe in the back. He picks it up and flips to first for the out. Hairston started towards second, stopped. He had such a good jump, but Lowe didn't detect the movement, so Hairston just kept going as Lowe started into his delivery to the plate.
The follow through by Derek Lowe, and the line drive's going to hit him right on the side or in the back. There you see that great jump at first base. And fortunately for Lowe, it caroms toward first base so he can get the out on the underhand flip. Derek has not been real sharp in this game today, but he does have the 7-0 lead.
Hasn't been his best day, but he has shut them out into the 5th. Fouled back in our direction by Howie Clark, who has twice grounded to second. When you have a brawl like that, are you inclined to perhaps seek out somebody you have a history with?
Not really, Sean. I mean, it's just chaos out there. There's so many people coming from so many different directions. Usually there are a couple of major participants, but then all kind of other stuff breaks out, and if you get whacked, you're trying to look around and see who whacked you, and you just respond. But they're very dangerous when you get that many people on the field, and that was a pretty serious one. And there were a lot of shots thrown in that brawl. A lot of time it's just pushing and shoving, and nobody really wants to get after it. They wanted to get after it right out there.
With the exception of Roberts, who just wanted to retreat and act like he wanted to fight.
He took a pop, though. He took a pop and he got Baega. And that's what infuriated Urbina and Sanchez and Offerman.
The 0-2 pitch to Clark. In the dirt, it skips away from Veritek. A wild pitch gets Hairston to third with 2 outs.
Now, the whole thing to start was a little bit foolish because I don't think that Erickson was throwing at Ramirez. I really don't. And he got it up around the shoulder. Well, the response was to hit Matthews on the butt. And that's how it all started. He didn't like it, went to first base. They exchanged some pleasantries on the way back, and here we go.
Seems like you see something like that every night. I was watching the Baseball Tonight program last night, and in a 6-6 game in the 9th, I believe it was Belliard of the Brewers got hit by a pitch and wanted to charge the mound. As if the pitch was trying to hit him. in a tie game in the bottom of the ninth. Mike McFarland was doing the commentary last night for ESPN. He said, go to first, just what you said. Just go to first base. He's not trying to hit you. Damon the catch.
Well, Lowe was trying to hit him, but he got him in a good spot.
Yes, he did. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 7-0 Red Sox.
Flying to the Washington area for business? When you choose from any of Southwest Airlines' 20 daily nonstops to Baltimore Washington International, you can receive double credit by booking your flight on Southwest.com. Get a free ticket after you fly just 4 round trips.
You are now free to move about the country.
I gotta let go. Gotta leave this thing behind now that I found something new inside. Watch me now as I'm leaving you behind me. Realize it's time to fly and let me free. Like a bird, I feel the wind blow. I know when it's time to go.
Bottom line, we've got to boost margins.
Do more with less.
Slash the ad budget.
Scale back in the Pacific Rim.
Actually, IT has a plan. Dave?
We're going with Dell. See, Dell's as focused on us as they are on driving down costs. PowerEdge servers, Intel Xeon processors, it's the flexibility we need. And that cuts costs, not productivity.
Smart move, Dave. Now we won't even have to cut the free coffee.
Find out how you can cut costs across your enterprise. Easy as Dell. Call or go online today.
The big salad, the puffy shirt, the astronaut pen. Everybody has a favorite episode. What's yours? Seinfeld, still the funniest show on TV. Weeknights at 7 and 11 on Fox 25.
Well, during the break between innings, they announced that it was Willis Roberts who was ejected along with Matthews, not Fordyce. So there were 2 Orioles, and that's the way it should have been. Roberts has also been ejected and is likely facing a suspension as well for shoving the umpire. Chris Brock to Nomar Garcia-Parra. Ball 1 in the dirt. Nomar has singled to knock in a run in the first. He doubled in the third and scored. Brock came in last inning in relief of Scott Erickson. Pitched a 1-2-3 4th. He'll face Garcia-Parra, Ramirez, and Veritek here in the 5th. At the knees, a strike, 1-1. The lights have been turned on here at Fenway with the thickening afternoon clouds. Ripped in the left, another hit. 3 for 3 for Garcia-Parra. He has 3 of the 8 Red Sox hits.
Well, there was better action here at Fenway this afternoon than in the Johnny Ruiz fight last night, or the home fight.
Holmes and Butterbean.
Yeah.
Watch any of that?
I didn't see that one, no.
This captivating action.
How old is Holmes now? 67?
I believe 52.
52. I bet he was in tip-top condition for that fight.
They were both finely trained, conditioned, honed athletes. Manny Ramirez. Takes the ball low. He was fly to right and been hit by a pitch. It was his hit by pitch to which Lowe was responding when he hit Matthews. That precipitated all the other extracurricular activity. Manny scored after being hit as part of the 5-run third. Two and 0. Well, today the last day of the Red Sox Wives annual food drive, and another great day for the Greater Boston Food Bank as they provide meals to the hungry in our area, close but a ball. About 4,000 pounds of food collected today at the gates by the Red Sox Wives. More than $7,500 in cash donations as well. So the 2-day total, 7,511 pounds of food and more than $15,000. So
good for them.
That's fantastic. A strike. 3-1. I saw Karen Veritek down by the field today as part of the Family Day events. I think she has a future in television. She's probably a big reason why it's such a big day today with the great job she did on the air with us here yesterday.
Yeah, they've all worked very hard at it for a long time, and it's nice to see they get some great results.
Ball 4 Lowe. The first 2 men are on here in the 5th as the Red Sox try to add to a 7-0 lead. Well, we're trying to sort out who did what to whom in the fight. We're trying to find out why Tony Cloninger was ejected. There's Tony at the side of the mound, the third base side.
Oh yeah, he's got
4 dice. Maybe he's the one who bloodied 4 dice. That was 2 Orioles. Good work, Tony.
Yeah, Tony's got a bear hug on a couple of guys there, so that evens things up a little bit.
Derek Lowe smart to get away from the center of that action.
So Tony's spending the rest of the afternoon in the Red Sox clubhouse after having a bear hug on 2 Orioles. Big Tony. I wouldn't want to get wrapped up by Tony. You know, it might take a while to get loose.
Man. Now Fordyce going to go out to chat with Brock. They list Tony in the media guide at 6'1", 260 pounds. He's a big, strong man. 0-2 the count on Veritek. He's already extended his hitting streak to 14 with a double high off the wall in left center. There was very nearly a home run. In the 3rd, he knocked in a run with that hit scored later in the inning. Red Sox got 2 in the 1st and 5 in the 3rd. Brian Daubach with a 2-run homer today. In on the hands of Jason. He pushed it foul. Did they give out those balloon type bats, whatever you call them, today? There's a lot of folks waving those things. What do you call those?
Things. Things with signs on them.
Line in the left, another hit. They'll hold Nomar at 3rd with nobody out. So 2 for 3 for Veritek. He's showing no signs of letting up. And the bases are loaded for Shea Hillenbrand. Red Sox already in possession of a 7-0 lead. The chance to turn this one into a laugher. Hillenbrand, an infield RBI single in the 3rd. He scored on the Daubach home run that followed. A single, a walk, and a single to load the bases against Brock, and a fastball for a strike to Hillenbrand. Fouled out of play to the right down by Canvas Alley. Oh, nice catch by that fan in the yellow shirt. Backhand grab reaching over into the ground crew area. Watch this.
Yeah, that is very yellow, that shirt too. That is a very yellow shirt.
If the power goes out, we'll all follow him out of here.
Looks like his kid's an Oriole fan. The orange shirt, the Oriole hat.
Go down and take the ball away from him. Fans clapping, pounding those plastic things together. Hillenbrand sends it into center, a base hit. It'll score 1 run. Ramirez will be held by Mike Cubbage with nobody out. Garcia Parr scored from third. Hillenbrand a 2-hit 2 RBI day, and the Red Sox lead 8-0.
Shea's been in a little bit of a slump. 3 for his last 24 before the back-to-back hits. A hit in the third to drive in a run. Now a base hit in the fifth to drive in a run. That's 59 RBI in the season now for Shea Hillenbrand. On the curveball, it looks like that pitch out of the zone down below the knees, and Hillenbrand still able to get a base hit on it.
Mark Wiley, the Orioles pitching coach, is at the mound. 3 hits and a walk in this inning. Brock has not retired a batter, and he's going to have to get out of this jam himself, apparently, because they aren't warming anybody up in their bullpen. Here comes Daubach. He homered in his last at bat, a controversial homer right near the yellow line, perhaps right off the yellow line, above the 379 marker in center field. His 13th homer, the 2 runs batted in, give him 46 for the year. Bryant grounded out to the second baseman Hairston in the second. 8 runs, 10 hits for Boston, no runs, 4 hits, an error for Baltimore. Ryan appeared to be taking all the way, and he looked at a strike. He's the 5th batter of the inning. Brock has not retired a man in this inning yet. Down and in. 1-1. Ramirez, the runner, at third. Veritek at second. Hillenbrand at first. Backdoor breaking ball for strike 2, 1-2. The homer for Daubach was his first in 3 weeks. He last went deep on July 7th against Detroit's Jeff Farnsworth. One of 2 home runs he had in that game. Foul tipped, fortunately for Daubach. Fordyce couldn't squeeze it. Late swing and a foul up in the grandstand section behind the third base dugout. Up and away, 2-2. Daubach and then Carlos Baerga. Another ball in on the hands and fouled off to the left. Yankees and Devil Rays have gone to the 5th now in St. Petersburg, still 4-0 New York. Anaheim and Seattle conclude their series a little bit later on. Seattle winning last night to move back into first in the American League West by a game over the Angels. Very close. strongly resembled a backdoor breaking ball he threw for a strike earlier in the at bat. Three and two on Daubach. The bases loaded and nobody out. An 8-0 Red Sox lead in the 5th. Fouled out of play and left. The next pitch will be the 10th of the at bat. In that big game in Seattle this afternoon, Kevin Appier will get the start for Anaheim. He's 8-8, and Jamie Moyer 10-4 for Seattle. Ripped up the middle, a base hit. Ramirez scores with nobody out. Again, they'll hold the runner Veritek at third. Second hit and third RBI of the ball game for Daubach after a very good at bat, and the Red Sox lead 9-0.
Yeah, big offensive afternoon for the Red Sox. Daubach, after a long at bat, top spin line drive right up at the middle. One base at a time by the Red Sox. Daubach with his third RBI, 47 on the season. Still nobody out here in the 5th inning.
A single, a walk, and 3 more singles. 5 men in a row have reached. Check swinging a ball. Said Laz Diaz. Baerga 0 for 2. Yorkis Perez in the bullpen. Fouled out of play. Baerga and the man on deck, Sanchez, the only Red Sox who have not reached base, and the only 2 who have not scored a run in this game. A ball and a strike on Baerga. Roll to second. Hairston to the plate for the out. Veritek slid in. Fordyce just did keep his foot on the plate. And a nice play for Hairston and Fordyce for the first out of the inning.
Hairston's played a very nice defensive second base throughout this whole series against the Red Sox. I didn't think he was going to come home on that. He tried to make a double play, but instead he does come to the plate to get the force out. That was a little bit like a first baseman stretching out and maybe leaving a little bit too soon, but still the umpire gave him the call. Hairston cuts down a run.
How long do you think it would have taken Mike Hargrove to get ejected if that had been a safe call at the plate?
I don't think too long. Even very mild-mannered Grover, I think, would have
seen enough at that point. Sanchez rolled one foul. Bases loaded, 1 out now. Ray is grounded to short and fly to deep left. And sent Cordova back to the middle of the warning track to catch his fly ball last inning. This game started out at a very brisk pace with the 2 pitchers working quickly, Lowe and Erickson. And since the brawl, it has come to a screeching halt. There's a little looper in the left center for a hit. Daubach almost ran through the Mike Cubbage stop sign. Hildenbrand scores on a base hit by Sanchez. And the Red Sox lead 10-0. Well, you don't want to get the Red Sox angry. Tampa Bay did it earlier in the week, and the Red Sox wound up scoring 22 runs. And now Baltimore has incurred the wrath of these Red Sox, who are in double digits again today. They're trying to buy some time for the bullpen now with Perez warming up.
Johnny Damon, the left-hander, coming up. You would expect the move to be made here if Perez is ready. Although it's one of those days for Hargrove now in the 10-0 lead, you got to kind of try to spread that pitching out so you just don't blow out the bullpen in this one game. Few guys are going to have to take one for the team.
Number 18.
Here comes Hargrove. They were buying time for Perez. It didn't really seem like he needed it. It wasn't exactly a brisk pace at which he was warming up out there, as they were seemingly buying time for him. So Brock will depart after an inning and a third. So far responsible for 3 runs and for the 3 base runners left behind. Yorkis Perez, the new pitcher, will return to Fenway Park in a moment.
Hurry, the Summer 2002 sales event ends July 31st.
When you can find the nearest locksmith. When you can check a movie time. And tell your friends you're running late. When you can find the right words to open a door. When you can do all this with a calling plan starting at $19.99 a month. That's M-Life. From AT&T Wireless. There's never been a better time to stop by an AT&T Wireless store, authorized dealer, or call 1-800-IMAGINE.
Ford authorized clearance. Now get 0% financing for up to 60 months. That's 0% on the vehicles that'll rock your world. Like Ford Explorer, the #1 selling SUV on the planet. F-150, the #1 selling truck for 25 straight years. Focus, one of Car and Driver's 10 best. And Taurus, with the government's highest safety rating. 0% Ford authorized clearance now.
(10-0) Red Sox, as we're still in the bottom of the 5th inning here. The call of the bullpen is brought to you by Nextel Direct Connect. Get right through. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. And the next pitcher will be Yorkis Perez, only making his 10th appearance. He was called up to the Orioles from Rochester on June 25th. The Orioles signed him the final week of spring training when he was released by Arizona. Major league time with Minnesota, Montreal, Atlanta, and the Cubs prior to joining the Oriole bullpen. Little rim dogs all over the place.
I believe that's the Fox 25 box.
Is it?
Where the son of our general manager, Greg Kelly, young Greg, is celebrating a birthday today. So happy birthday to Greg. His pals treated to a birthday treat.
Exciting afternoon at the old ballpark.
Oh, yeah, they have a lot to talk about when they get home. Johnny Damon pops it up along the left field line. A long run for Cordova. It's a foul ball. Johnny, the 8th batter of the inning, still just 1 out. The bases are loaded. Damon had an infield hit and scored in the 1st. Walked in the 3rd. Fly to left. There is actually the Fox box, where Greg Kelly is celebrating his birthday today. 11 years old today. Happy birthday.
Look at battling for camera time.
And whacking each other with those things that we don't know what they're called. Line to left. Cordova the catch. Daubach went back to tag. Elects to remain at 3rd with 2 outs.
Number 7, the right fielder, Ron Nixon.
Here's Trot Nixon. Tried to check his swing. The off-speed pitch. And then Perez throws strike 2. He's a veteran from the Dominican Republic. 34 years old. And he gets Nixon on 3 pitches to end the inning, but the Red Sox bat around. They get 3 more. They leave the bases loaded. After 5, it's 10-0 Red Sox.
We're a country that loves competition. If somebody starts mixing it up, we're there. You gotta love the idea of car and driver putting the top 4 pickups up against each other. And we gotta love the fact that Dodge won. Yep, Dodge Ram is #1 over Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. When you're buying a pickup, you can't go wrong putting your money on the only pickup with 4 full-size doors and a full-size bed. Dodge Ram. Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty, plus $2,000 cash allowance or 0% APR. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota don't match this.
Jim! Hey, Mikey. Here's our TV, 57-inch widescreen. Looks even better than last week.
Can we take it home this time?
Therein lies the problem, Peter. The minute we take it home, I'm going to see it on sale.
You know, with Circuit City's Price Match Plus, you don't have to worry about that.
Huh. Don't worry, take it home. Because if you find a lower price within 30 days of purchase, we'll give you back 110% of the price difference. Circuit City, we're with you.
Does this mean my video game system can come home too?